really honored and I feel so happy that you have agreed to my request of taking this difficult session, and Dr. Manjula also, Manjula Jain. We have the Vice Chancellor of this institute and we are really proud of this moment. And Dr. Manjula has been constantly helping me at every step from the very beginning of this IIC. IIC was new to me and suddenly I came to know about it. But after knowing about it, I had a wonderful team of Dr. Ashutosh, Dr. Ashish, Dr. Anish, Dr. Rashmi and Dr. Rashmi, Dr. Ankita, those who really helped me at every step to make this a success. And I really promise you, sir, that as you want, we'll try our best to come to your expectations. Thank you, sir, for spending.
And Dr. Manjula, let me congratulate the medical college for taking up and being a leader in the university on this nascent project called Innovation Council, Institutional Innovation Council. And I could see the buzz around with the team. All of them are so excited, all of them are so enthused and carry a lot of energy around. And that's an indicator that a medical college would go far, far ahead in conducting various activities. Specialist will be behaving like a robot. Though he has used a very hard word, I don't want to use that word. So I'm replacing that word and saying will be behaving like a robot. Breadth of humanity, breadth of environment, breadth of society. That means unless I'm relevant in the society with my domain knowledge, I'll be acting more like a robot. Powered by something which is not relevant to the society. Therefore, we look for holistic education. That means going beyond your domain knowledge. Domain knowledge you will keep having all through your life. You will keep adding to it. You will keep strengthening it. But other aspects of life, probably you won't have an occasion or an opportunity to add to that. And that's where the college life should help you to look at all possible aspects, spatially relevant to our environment. And that's where business model comes into picture also. How many of you are planning to be entrepreneurs? No. Am I right? Now, if you're going to have a consultancy, you're definitely going to look at your cost and benefit analysis. You're going to understand what cost are you adding to that consultancy and what is the actually cost you are incurring on it and what kind of benefits you draw. Both, whether they are tangible or intangible, doesn't matter. You will never able to calculate those intangible costs which might bear heavily on you, maybe on your health or your well-being. Why do we in fact use a model? What is the purpose of a model? Whether it is a business model or it is some working model, whether it is in engineering or even in the medical science, wherever the word called model is being used for the purpose of simplifying, making one to understand complex activities in a simplified way. Any model would have three important aspects. There would be some inputs, then you will have a process of activities, and then some outcome or output, what we call it. Right? So when you look at business model, there are two most important streams of business model. One we call it the cost stream, another is a revenue stream. Putting it in simple terms, say, hey, what are those activities where you would incur cost? And where would you get the money from ultimately? Say if you are going to run your own consultancy, you got to look at what is it going to cost you, right? The cost could be infrastructure cost. Cost could be your inputs you are going to put in. Your inputs could be in terms of your, light, your infrastructure, that is permanent cost which you have incurred, and above all, the opportunity cost. The amount of time which you are going to put on your consultancy, if you would have used somewhere else, what benefit you could have drawn. Now those benefits could be your health benefits, those benefits could be your social well-being. So when you put that time on your consultant, you are missing on those two important aspects, and they are very, very important as a human being. So that's your opportunity cost, right? And what benefit do you draw out of it? Look at that revenue. Most of revenue would come, you are on satisfaction. That's intangible. Satisfaction. That means I drove a satisfaction from my profession, having given so much back to the society, right? And your satisfaction you draw looking at your patients coming out healthy, right? And the other benefits which you draw is whatever money you earn out of it. Now these are the two most important, and of course your reputation. Your reputation is intangible. The satisfaction is intangible. Now it depends upon you. Which out of the two are more important to you? Are you going to look at intangible benefits far outweighing your tangible benefits? Your tangible benefits are the hard cash which you earn. Now I won't say which one is. This all depends upon the individual. What one likes or what one prefers more than the other. Now when you make it a little more complex, this is so simple, right? When you run big businesses, there are so many activities, there are so many costs, right? And big businesses draw revenue from many other aspects also. What are those various? Let's look at first revenue stream. How do you earn money? How do you earn money? You earn money by giving what we call a value proposition. These are terms which, like, you have your medical terms. So they are business terms. We call it a value proposition. Value proposition. So if a customer had to buy your product, why he or she prefers your brand than over somebody else's brand, that depends upon what value proposition you are providing to him or her. Right? Value proposition is all that benefits which are bundled with the brand. Now these benefits could be in terms of the brand status itself. Many times you just go and pick up a product just on the basis of the brand because it brings so much of status to you. Any other benefit outweighs, the status of a brand outweighs any other benefits. So you don't care about it. So as far as a brand, it's been popularized by the manufacturer, and that is a lot of money pumped into building that brand and enhancing that reputation. He's happy about. Another one could be by giving you the functionality, ease of usage. Another could be accessibility. It's so easily accessible to you, so you would basically get that proposition. And the price could be another one. I don't care the brand, I don't care the usability, I just care for the price. Well, when you look at the entire market, we actually segment the market. We categorize the market different, and based upon that category and my value proposition, we match it. Because if I match my value proposition to a wrong segment, I would be a failure. So when you look at your own consultancy, you got to look at who are you providing it, at what price are you providing it. If you charge too high price, your consultancy might fail, right? If you provide it at too low price, probably people might not consider you good enough to charge a value worth for your price. So when you set that consultancy fee, you got to match it. You got to match it your segment. You got to match it your own competency, and look at how the segment actually perceives you based upon that pricing. Okay. So that revenue stream would be so important for any business. And what are you ultimately as a businessman or individual looking for is the margins which you earn based upon the price and the cost which you incur. So as a businessman or as a consultant or any entrepreneur, I should know my cost, perfectly. That means I should know what are those activities, number of them, which incur cost. It so happens many times, we even not able to figure out those cost elements. There are certain hidden costs. When we start our business, we don't figure it out. Say for example, some of the costs which you don't figure out is, they call it, facilitation cost, in terms of greasing the palm of numerous officials down the line. That is the reality of our own nation. You got to grease the palm of those people. So, but you don't take into account that. Calamities can happen, accidents can happen, you don't figure out those particular costs. The pricing might go up, maybe due to season, or maybe some what we call is geographic, geopolitical regions. For example, one of your input is petroleum products. Something wrong happens in that Midwest, the prices might shoot, and that increases your cost. You have no control over it. So then you'll find two types of costs in any product business. One are controllable, other non-controllable. Controllable are within your own control of the individual. Now this you are going to figure out what is that I can control. So manpower you can control, right? Raw material you cannot control. Whether that I want to change mobile, please send money. I said, why do you want to change the mobile? Last year you bought it. Isn't that good enough? Isn't working for communication? No, that's for you, not for me. Communication for you, but I need it for something else. So, for what purpose you use a particular product varies from people to people, and therefore you have to actually provide all those pieces depending upon the segment. You have to fit your product to the segment. If you don't fit it, you would fail at it. So that's the first advice to any entrepreneur. And the biggest mistake an entrepreneur actually makes while his business actually starts growing up, he forgets this relation of matching the product offering to the specific segment. If you miss that, you miss your business as well. Right? And this is how the entire business model is developed and understood and executed by the entrepreneur. Now, this is a static situation, but when you look at the reality, that's the dynamics, you will find a lot of things will go and change. In isolation, what I'm saying is perfect, but in reality, it is not it, because when you put that your model into the real market situation, there are competitors. Now, the moment you competitors, you got to look at your own price. How your price matches with the competitors. Now, do you have any way out to, change this pricing? If you are too tight on the cost, you cannot. How do I reduce my cost? You got to look at the entire value chain. We call it a product value chain. That means starting from raw material till it reaches to the hands of the customer is called a value chain. Now within this value chain, the various stages of the product, within this value chain, you have a possibility of reducing your cost. Now for that, you need partners. Which activity you can outsource to your partners at a lower cost. And there are not that important which can be outsourced easily at a much lower cost. So today if you look at in any business model, most of the business organizations 30 years, the price of a color TV has not gone up, it rather come down. It's because of this outsourcing, because of the competition. Because as a manufacturer or as a business or as an entrepreneur, I do not have any control or a leeway on pricing. Price is determined by the market forces. I have no control over it. So since I have no control over, I should not look at that. What should I look at it? My cost. How do I do my activities at the lowest possible cost without letting the quality of my activities down? No suffering on the quality. And that is actually squeezing the margins, and it will continue to do so in the future as well. Yes? Through innovations, that's what we call institutional innovation council, right? Through innovations, in every step, you see, that's where you enter. So that is where, as a doctor, I need to understand not just my art or my craft, but the human behavior as well.
Sir, can we adjust the values of our cost?
Anyone of you have understood this term, value proposition? Please, value proposition. I know these are new, greater value proposition because a doctor provides more time. Right? Your value proposition enhanced. Your value proposition enhanced because the doctor talks so nicely to you. Right? Value proposition enhanced because you don't have to wait even a minute before the doctor. You know, once you enter, you are called in. Your value proposition is enhanced. You can walk in any time as you feel like your value proposition is enhanced. And that's what you got to look at. Ultimately, for any business, it's a value proposition which will drive the business, nothing else. Okay. There are people, the price is not a determinant of a value proposition at all. This, what we call is this intangible benefits actually outweigh those tangible costs. And this is where, as a, you know, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you do keep in mind, how do you enhance that value proposition of your patients? That's the one line I like to say. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Already said, I endorse that medical college is going to be the leader in taking the activities of IIC to a level so that we are visible at the national as well as at the international front. So all the best for other activities to come. And before I start with the session, Sir has already given you the framework that we are going to discuss about. I'll not dive deeper so that you get bored of, so that you lose your interest, but I'll try to make it interesting so that it becomes relevant for you to sit here, for you to understand that why business model canvas has been taken up as the important activity under the IIC, Innovation Council. And since this council is not only related to a particular field or an area of specialization, but it pertains to all, because innovation, as we all know, is a buzzword. Everyone is talking about innovation. Life has been taken away, is it or not? If you leave your mobile phone out of your washrooms, then also you feel, how I have to just get my phone as early as possible, and when you sleep, that is besides you. Mother and father no more required when it's the time to sleep, but mobile phones, yes. So you see that there are a lot of innovations in every field, and how does it applies to medical practitioners, to medical educators, as well as to other arenas where we need to imbibe, we need to inculcate, we need to actually create the business model. Now, as you can see, already I have written that it will be on the financial perspectives. But yes, apart from financial perspectives, we shall try to understand what is business model first of all, and then why do we call it as a canvas? I suppose you all have ideas. हम ये कर लें, we should do that thing. Once I complete my education, I'm going to do this thing. I have to have my own startup. Is it or not? Or let us say that when you're planning to attend a function of your closest friend, you have an idea in your mind what I'm going to do, which dress I'm going to wear, how I'm going to dance, how I'm going to perform. Is it or not? The planning starts and you want to do something very, very unique. Is it or not? This is what the behaviorally we usually do. These are very usual things, no? So, when you give shape to your ideas, we need to have a canvas. This word has been taken from painting. When we are drawing something, we need to have something. It can be a napkin, paper napkin. It can be a whiteboard. It can be a paper on which you can give shape to your ideas. How do I want to look like? Which dress I would like to have? So when you put something, put your ideas into a shape, we need to have a canvas. In the same way, when we want to start any business, we need to put down very concrete things. What I am going to deliver? करना क्या है मुझे? कौन सा business करना है? Now, if I want to do a business, I'll have, as sir also pointed out, I need to have certain segments of customers. Then, how will I build the relationship with those customers? Is it or not? And when that customer relationship would be built up, what all activities I need to do in that? And when activities have to be done, what are the resources I need to have? Bina resources I cannot go and do or perform any activity. And when we go for activities, resources, then we are not like omniscient. Are we? Do we know everything? Are we all omnipotent that we will be having the power of knowing everything, power of having everything? We need to have partners. Is it? So what do we do? Now that might be more, familiar word. All of you watch Netflix. All of you do your shopping on Amazon, Myntra. Are these words similar or familiar to you or not? So when we are doing or getting value from something by any company, it proposes to give us some value when we are giving some money to them. And what is that value? That should be the uniqueness of any business. So with this, we shall start, with this framework we have to start our business model canvas and how this business model canvas came into existence. What are the various elements that we need to include into it, and how is it useful in order to start any business, to whom it may be useful, and in healthcare industry, as medical practitioners, as medical educators, as students of medicine, what is the implication of attending this session? That is isolation of anything or just a mind gave us a thought and we start working on it. No, we need to have a tool. How do we give shape to it? So that means how any idea will be created or turned into a value proposition. This tool is very, very important for us to understand. And you can see that the popularity of business model canvas is used by 5 million people who have started with their incubation centers or their startups, and you can see that all 500 Fortune companies, they have utilized this tool in order to start their businesses. Combinations of parts of old business models. So innovation is nothing that which comes from any source. whatever we have in the past, whatever are the old ideas, you just give new shape to it, like a makeover. You know, in marriages what happened? Somebody said that these beauty clinics and beauty parlors, they should be sued. Why? Because when we see the people, especially the bride, in the marriage, she is altogether different. But when the next day she washes the face, we are not able to recognize whom I married and who she is, and sue the beauty clinics. Makeover. So, how the existing body was reshaped in terms of making over. So, this is what the innovation says. Whatever you have, how new you can make it to look like. Is it? Now, I have a very interesting video here. Before going through this, see again I have moved from my place.
This is the story of Beth, her friend Carl, and an idea they believed could become a great business. It's the story of how they succeeded. If you're an entrepreneur or anyone with a great idea, it could easily be your story too. And let's begin at the beginning. See, even if you have a great idea, success is far from assured. That's because for every great idea that has shaped our world, there are thousands of seemingly great ideas that have flopped. In order to succeed, a great business idea needs a great business model, and they're not the same thing. Once your idea meets the world, it will meet customers. If they don't care about the problem your idea solves for them, it's game over. But even if customers love your value proposition, you can fail if your business model is not scalable and financially sustainable. You'll need to find reliable channels to reach and acquire your customers. You'll need to build an infrastructure that won't collapse as your business begins to grow. Failing to do just one of these things can mean death to your business, however great your idea is. That's why your first work is to search for the right business model, to map this world of challenges so it can be tamed and organized, allowing you to explore it, manage it, and plan for it. What if there was a tool that could help you with this challenge, simply and visually? A tool that makes it easier to stress test your ideas, track your progress, and avoid breaking the bank along the way. What if it was possible to design and test business models in a way that gives your idea a better shot at rising to the level of the great businesses that are shaping our world?
Become successful in the market. So this idea was taken up by Alexander Osterwald, and he gave this idea that whenever we have any idea in our mind, then that idea has to be first put on a canvas. And once you have that canvas in front of you, you are able to chalk out all those activities, all those segments that you need to fill up. And once these there are rectangles, there are squares. The size of these rectangles and squares, they are just not made it in a very haphazard manner, but the size represents the importance. And here you can see that the maximum importance has been given to value proposition, key partners, customer segments. And then the lower part is being divided into cost structure, revenue streams. And along with that you have other segments also to be completed. Now this is what we need to fill up whenever we are planning any idea, whenever we are giving shape to any idea, whenever we want to go for any startup. After completing your medical education, you can be a doctor in some organization, in some hospital. You can have your own medical facility. You can go for a startup with a very innovative idea. Is it or not? And we can see that there are a lot of scope when in terms of technology, when in terms of digitalization, you can innovate your business model and make yourself unique from others. So, what does this business model canvas tells you that there are certain internal factors within a business, there are certain external factors that cannot be controlled. Obviously, internal factors can be controlled. by us. Now, as I told you that this value propositions towards left, if we go, key partners, key activities, key resources. They are innate to the business. They are internal activities of the business. The business has to decide that who will be our partners, what will be our activities, and what are the resources that we have to cater to. The right side, if you look, you have customers and channels. So we have to see that the right side is matched with the left side of the proposition. So this is how the value proposition has to be either cost driven or value driven. Now when I say cost driven, that means that whether the idea you are working upon, you want to cut down the cost within the existing framework of the services and products that are being offered. Let us say that you already know a facility is there in the market and that is very expensive. Now your value proposition would be that my service would come at a relatively lower value to you. This is cost driven. Sometimes what happens, you are working on the same model as other competitors, but you are giving more value. Is it? Like for example, if we happen to see the restaurant chains, first of all we had this जो आपका delivery का जो systems हैं, this was started by आपका Pizza Hut delivery शुरू हुआ, then you had this Swiggy. There are so many delivery models now you are having. पहले ये था bulk buying के लिए you were delivered at home. अब क्या है, Swiggy has given the another model for even a penny of amount that you want to spend to your customers. What's compelling about the proposition? Why do customers buy or use your product? When you define these three, your value proposition is complete. Now, whether you are offering a product, whether you are offering a service, or you are offering a content. For example, we all know that during this COVID era, there has been a lot of disruption. Were we having so many online digital learning platforms earlier? But now you can see that on UP digital learning website, you are also having the digital contents. Every person is coming out with his own content. Then you have the centralized system of repository also being created just in order to facilitate. Is it? So already it's a service, but it comes in the form of a content to you. So when we are deciding our value proposition, it can be something that you can concretize. For example, it can be in the form of a fitness coaching. You are providing coaching modules. This is what? Your business proposition, value proposition. You are giving the gym membership at a very unique, with unique features, okay? Or you can offer something, let us say a cream to women or to any segment where you think that this can create, a good ripple in the market, and this is something unique. It comes with extended features which other companies are giving. There are a lot of creams in the market. So what is your value proposition? You have to highlight it. That can be science coaching. Now you can see Byju's. Byju's is there in the market. Earlier also we were having so many learning platforms. But now what Byju's is giving to you? The interactive sessions. The tablets loaded with those interactive sessions which the student can go on with. You have Kindle. Else we used to have the books, and we used to buy hardbound books, and we used to study that. Now we can carry Kindle anywhere, and everywhere you can have the learning experience. This is a proposition. Earlier it was not thought. Why it is being thought? Because we want to offer something value driven. We want to offer at a cost production strategy. So this is what is meant by a value proposition. Am I clear with this? Is value proposition clear to you? Because I'll be asking. As I say, what does Netflix offering you as a unique proposition, but not the other channels, but not the other OTTs? Netflix is having 24/7 streaming, and it is ad free. Is it or not? But it has one more feature attached to it, AI enabled algorithm. Degree of entertainment, and once we are over with that and we want to surf other serials so it gives you a ready-made list that depending upon your watching list These are the other options available to you. This is what? AI enabled. When you go through Facebook and you are going through a particular website that is there on that particular Facebook link, what happens? Depending upon how many times you surfed that particular website through Facebook, Facebook starts recommending you to go for another website also. This is what AI enabled techniques which are embedded into these kind of services. Is it? So this is how we can also have their AI embedded or digital learning in terms of healthcare services. We shall come later with that.
कल हमें सिक्योरिटी भी चाहिए अपने लिए. Our life is very important, very valuable, very precious. So we need. That's why we all are earning, because दो वक्त की रोटी is the main thing that we are earning. उसके बाद हमारे लिए आते हैं कि जहाँ हम रहेंगे वहाँ पर हमारी सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी क्या है, तब हमारी सेफ्टी नीड्स का फुलफिलमेंट होता है. We start thinking for that. Once this is identified, we move to the next level of hierarchy, and that is belongingness and loving. अब आपके पास रोटी कपड़ा और मकान हो गया, लाओ भैया शादी के बारे में सोचो. क्योंकि जब आप कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेंगे, you don't have to feed yourself, you have to feed the family also. You need to have social needs. आपको लगता है कि because man is a social animal and women too. कहा यही जाता है man is a social animal, but we all are the creators of God and we do have the social needs. So अब हमें लगता है कि हम अलूफ रह के can we live? कोविड में आप लोगों को जब एक दूसरे से मिलने का मौका नहीं मिला, you could find from the statistics, many of them have become depressed. कितने सुसाइड्स हुए हैं, फैमिली ब्रेकअप्स भी हो गए. अगर आप इसके नेगेटिव साइड में जाएंगे तो सोशल नीड्स हमारी फुलफिल ही तो नहीं हुई. खाने पीने की कमी नहीं थी, आपके पास सेफ्टी नीड्स भी आपकी फुलफिल हो रही थी, सोशल नीड्स वर नॉट बीइंग फुलफिल्ड. एज सून एज यू गॉट द अनलॉक, you started unlocking yourself. So here comes, जब आपके पेट में रोटी होगी, आपके सिर पे छत होगी, तब आप सोशल नीड्स के बारे में सोचोगे. So this is the third level of hierarchy. अब आया हमारा, अभी तक था हमारा need, want, अब आए desires. When we are up to this, हम केवल बेसिक चीजों के बारे में सोचते हैं. अब हमारे पास कार तो है, पर कार अब थोड़ी सी बड़ी वाली चाहिए, थोड़ी सी ऊपर से खुलने वाली चाहिए, लंबोर्गिनी चाहिए. यहाँ क्या है, अब घर एक है, हम पे 2 कमरे भी हैं, उसमें अच्छा खासा एक लॉबी भी है, बट 2 स्टोरी 3 स्टोरी होना चाहिए, सामने एक लॉन भी होना चाहिए. दिस इज व्हाट सेंस ऑफ अकम्पलिशमेंट. अब हमारा ये मन आया कि नाउ वी शुड बी एबल टू शो पीपल दैट व्हाट वी हैव, बिकॉज ऑल अदर नीड्स आर फुलफिल्ड. Here, esteem is important. अब आपके सामने क्या सोशल रेपुटेशन, बिकॉज सोसाइटी तो आप ही ने बनाई है, किटीज आपने ज्वाइन करा, क्लब्स आपने ज्वाइन करा. नाउ इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू सस्टेन दैट, सोसाइटी क्या कहेगी? यही शुरू होता है, दैट डिफरेंस कम्स. सो इफ यू आर नॉट अ सोशल बीइंग, you hardly care, but when you are a social being, you have to cater to this need, directly, indirectly, voluntarily, involuntarily. You have to go for it. So once these esteem needs are also fulfilled, अब आपने देखा होगा कई लोग सब कुछ देखने के बाद कहते हैं अब मैं चैरिटी में जाऊंगा, इतना लाख रुपया डोनेट करूंगा, एक संस्थान बनेगा जहां पर मुफ्त सेवाएं दी जाएंगी, मैंने अपना इतना पैसा इस ट्रस्ट को दे दिया. दिस इज व्हाट सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन. सब कुछ पैसा देने के बाद मैं रामदेव बाबा के ग्रुप में शामिल हूँ.
सब कुछ करने के बाद,
सब कुछ करने के बाद ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि यहाँ से आप सीधे उठ के यहाँ चले जाएंगे, आपको पूछेगा कौन, आपको कोई जानता नहीं. बट यहाँ पर पहुँचने के लिए many people have to see that how they are able to maintain this need so that they can go, because many people die at this level only. So depending upon the needs you want to cater, the segmentation of the market has to be chosen. Which need has to be identified from your market research? This is important for all of you to understand. Am I clear? Any query? Now this is important customer relationships. Sometimes what happens, we are taking or we are using a product, we are using a service. कितनी बार आपके पास फोन आता है, sir, are you satisfied with the service? Sir, please drop a feedback to us. Sir, will you rate us? And what do you do? What do you do? Sometimes you skip, but sometimes you rate. And sometimes when you are very much delighted,
Advertisements.
Amita,
Advertisements.
channels, advertisement, product. I'm offering a service. I'm offering a content. Channel means delivery. Sales का क्या channel होगा? Delivery का क्या channel होगा? Can both of them be same? You go to a physical, if it is a departmental store, you have to go there, you buy the utilities and you pay for it, you get it delivered at the same time. Sales channel, delivery channel, both are same. Now, other thing can be you make a purchase through a website and delivery would be made by the courier person. The partners for logistics. देखा होगा आपने सबके यहाँ पैकेट्स आते होंगे Amazon से हम आते same things.
No.
What is income then?
Revenue minus cost.
Revenue and income are one and the same thing or they are different? Can you give me any example of revenue and income? You want to earn the revenue, you want to earn the income.
Revenue.
Obviously, revenue can be equal to the cost and you are earning it, but does it fulfill your objective? We want to have an income. And that would only be decided when you have the revenue aspect greater than the cost. And for that, I told you we need to have a break-even point. Break-even point means the point of no profit, no loss. And over and above that point, you need to get the profits. Okay? So, there can be so many things in cost structure, as you can see, the raw materials, if we... Patient hearing, I'm really thankful that you tolerated me. वैसे तो हम लोग आप लोगों के पेशेंट्स बनेंगे, बनते आए हैं, but here I think I made you to be patient. Thank you for giving me such a beautiful occasion. Thanks to ma'am, thanks to the team. I was a bit longer.
No,
Thanks for bearing. Once again, have your physiological needs satisfied. And I pray to God that you reach the self-actualization needs also. With this, thank you so much. God bless you.
MC Muradabad. I, Dr. Jawallabh Kumar, would like to thank our keynote speakers, Professor Raghuveer Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, TMU, and Dr. Manjula Jain, Associate Dean, Academics, TMU Muradabad, for such a wonderful and informative session on business model canvas. We enjoyed your session. I would like to thank our multitasking principal, Dr. Shyamali Datta ma'am, for always providing unconditional support for conducting such sessions. I would like to thank Dr. Ashish Chandar, President IIC, Dr. Anish, Convener IIC, Dr. Sangeeta Kapoor, Innovation and IPR Activity Coordinator, Dr. Ashutosh, NIRF Convener, Dr. Ankita Mittal, Startup Activity and Internship Coordinator, and Mr. Anul Tandon, Social Media Coordinator, for their guidance and support to conduct this session. I would like to thank all the members of IIC for their support. I would like to thank Photography Unit for their support. I would like to thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff of TMMCRC for their support. I would like to thank Dr. Rashmi Chauhan and Dr. Rashmi Bhardwaj, IIC member, for smoothly hosting this session. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants who participated in this session and made it a grand success. Thank you.